My fellow advertising salesman, there were two of us on the paper. He called me a few days later and he said, well, Lyle, the FBI was out here talking to our boss and that's why they let you go. So I wound up again getting another job in weekly newspaper advertising on the Ballard News. They had an opening. Well, that's rather interesting because the guy that owned the Ballard News Record was on the State House Un-American Activities Committee as a state senator, a guy named Harold Kimball, who was so dumb that he didn't even check out my background. Happily for me, because I worked there for probably 10 years in ad sales. So I wanted to get out of that. And finally, a friend told me he was leaving the job of executive director of the Washington State Veterinary Medical Association, and the job was open. He said, why don't you apply? I did. And so I spent close to 4 years managing the state veterinary group, which is a fascinating line of work, and I like the veterinarians. And I edited their magazine and arranged conventions and all this and that. And after almost 4 years, all of the veterinarians in the state got a smear sheet on me that detailed all of my political sins. I was on the state board of the ACLU, Progressive Party, I don't know, a long list of crap put out by the Americanism guy of the American Legion in the state. And it was obvious that there were John Birchers and other conservatives in the Veterinary Association, and it was impossible to maintain my job, although there were liberal vets that said stick with it and fight it out, but you can't be an executive director of an association and have a compromised situation like that. So once again I was on the brakes.